When I lost my old dog, I started to make a few paintings and prints of her. This is the one that touched me the most. Let me show you how I made it. Hello Jelly fans! I've told you already that my almost 15-year-old doggie passed a month ago. I miss her a lot, and it is important for me to start healing by making art. I took the last flowers in my garden, which were these fuchsias, which also happen to be my favorite flowers to print. You can see the delicate textures and the little seed stems literally in every print I made. And I have made some videos about printing with fuchsias. Now I want to try to combine my dog's portrait with them, because she died in the time of year that they bloom. Or do you say blossom? I'm putting this A4 size paper here just to get the outline of that size, because for this print I want to be precise with the rim, because the fuchsias are going all around the edges. And I have this sort of a silky rice paper that was for clothes, I think. And I'm crumpling it and to get some interesting texture when I take the fuchsia prints off. You can't see it, but this is the black. But I'm starting with the golden open transparent red oxide, and also I have a transparent yellow. And again, I'm stressing that the golden open are very good for, they give you time to plan what your next step will be. So the most paint, it's actually a little bit too much. I'm putting around the edges and just a little bit in the middle. Most of this is going away anyway. So I'm placing the fresh fuchsias around the rim. Oh God, it's so beautiful. I have to admit that most of this color will not print so good because they're both transparent colors, and you will see how I enhance with the black later. So now I'm coming in with the silk paper, and I'm testing in the corner here, and I find that I don't like how much it takes off. It doesn't take off the paint enough. So I'm using my trusty Chinese rice paper. You can see I've used it before. That's gonna be some interesting collage paper too. So I'm pressing it down everywhere, at the same time creating some wrinkles for some interest. I'm taking off that paper, and the reveal shows me that I don't have that much of a texture here as I thought I would get. So what I'm trying here is to interact with the color with the strong black, and I'm putting it over the fuchsia here to try if that works. Let me show you that a little bit closer here, and you can see it did not work so well. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking all the fuchsias off, and note that I'm putting the side that has color on them to the upper side, so that color will stay wet for a while on the flowers themselves. So over this first layer I'm putting a black layer and just hoping that there is a little bit of the other colors left. I'm placing them with the color down. Well, actually only partly. And yeah, there's one left, and going over it with the rice paper again. And I'm also using the brayer to really get to make the fuchsias as flat as possible and give me all they got, basically. Come on, fuchsias, do your thing. When I'm taking the paper and the fuchsias off, you can see it's not such a convincing print this time. I don't know, something's off. So I'm printing them directly with the remaining black paint on them, which works quite well. But it's important for me to get the fall colors in here as well. And as they are too weak to resist the black, I'm painting the fuchsias directly, rolling them over with a brayer and printing them directly on the plate. And this looks quite good. I'm mixing in a little black to get it a little darker. You can see up here, where I'm printing this one, that the black completely took over. Not completely, you can see a little bit, but not enough. And this time I'm also mixing in some of I used the transparent red oxide, and now I'm coming in with some transparent brown iron oxide. And it's really amazing how the flowers hold through. And it's time to pull the first print now. I'm protecting the paper with a tissue, rubbing it in a little bit more, letting it sit for 5 minutes or so. And then when I'm pulling it, I'm quite happy with the result. And I think I want to put my photo of my dog in there now. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm printing directly on the paper with the fuchsias. And this is amazing. It is so much more interesting to print them directly. Look here, I have one petal there and the whole flower. And I'm using the brown mixed with a little bit of the black. And look at that. Beautiful. I wonder how much more I could do with these strong fuchsias. Some of them were really almost dead already, and they're still printing. Look at that. Isn't it great? I think it's great. And I'm mixing the red with the yellow again. I want to have just some lighter prints. And putting another flower in there now, sorry, out of camera. I'm pressing down with a regular tissue, by the way. Oh yeah, little yellow. That's good. And one more. So now I think I'm ready to transfer the photo. It is a laser print, always better with a laser than with the inkjet for transfer. But what I'm doing first and what I want to show you here is that I want some of the tips of the petals, I want them to be in front of her face. And so I'm kind of blocking off the tops of the petals with masking tape first. It's very fiddly. This is really one of the fiddliest things I ever made. So I'm blocking off the first petal. And this one here. And then I thought, this is too fiddly. It's annoying me. So now I'm using my fluid masking gel that I usually use for watercolors. But it will work wonderfully on this one too. It works with acrylics too. I'm using a brush to draw it on. That's much better than the masking tape, I think. And that is a good paper, a good and sturdy paper, so that masking fluid will not ruin the paper when I take it off. You'll see it in a minute. And first I have to let it dry before I print. So back to the gel plate again. I cut out her face and I'm squeezing out the last of my carbon black here by Golden Open. And I think this size is enough. I'm taking off a little bit to have a rather thin layer. And it's important that you don't press too much on the photo, because then it will take off too much of the paint. I'm using another sheet to get a little bit of the surrounding paint off. And I'm coming in with a baby wipe here. You have to be careful here because you can get a rather unsatisfying rim. But this is perfect as perfect as it can be. So I'm placing this directly on the masked off sections there, as I did before. Pressing it on. And then very carefully, so that the paper doesn't move on the plate, turning it around and rubbing it from the other side. Putting it down again, letting it sit for another 5 minutes, and now it's perfect. I forgot to mention that I had the gel plate on a glass plate to be able, when I turn it around, to be able to register better. So I'm taking off the masking tape and the dried fluid. It gets transparent when it dries, so you couldn't really see how I took it off. And I think I love it, and I want to work it out now with just a few things. I get carried away a little with the flowers themselves. I'm always trying not to work out too much to preserve the natural feel of the print. But I have to say, these flowers, I just love them so much, and I love to work them out. On this little bud, I used a dark indigo, and I can't tell you why. Sometimes it looks very interesting together with a brown, but I think I just took it for a black. I thought it was a black. So what I'm really using is the sienna color and the black pencil by Faber-Castell Polychromos series. And this is weird, because that stem almost goes in her eye. And the funny thing is, this is an older photo, but her eye, when she got old, didn't work anymore, because I had to, whatever, she had some surgery done, and the eye reflexes didn't work anymore. So it's funny that by coincidence that flower stem goes into her eye. And it was the left eye. And I'm also working out the very faint prints of the black fuchsias. Here I'm just putting on a little bit to the side, and then see those little water bubbles there? There must have been some water on the paint, in the paint. Anyway, I'm not putting too much contrast into the black flowers in the back. I want them to stay in the background. If you add more contrast, you will get more attention to that piece, which is especially true for this corner, which seems to be a little bit chaotic. And I'm leaving it that way and just enhancing some forms that I can see there. I'm speeding this up quite a bit. I hope you don't mind me doing that. I don't want these videos to be too long. Actually, the working out is always my favorite part in the end. This time there's quite a bit of working out. It's so amazing. These flowers, every time I print them, they come out differently. And it's funny how the patterns and textures that the paint gave me inspires me to connect the animal photo with the greens. I did not plan this, nor would I have gotten the idea before printing this. And this is the magic of the gel plate for me. It always gives me surprising inspiration and ideas I didn't know were in me. So I'm connecting some of the stems, whatever they are, with the fur of my beloved doggy. And I just love the idea that my dog is connected to nature now, lying in the earth. And we're coming from the earth and going back into it. And you hear that nasty sound up there? That's my other dog trying to distract me. So what's important is that I give her face a lot of contrast, especially for the ears, and especially for the eyes, and because by that you get drawn into the painting. There's a lot of these textures happening up there on her head. And maybe I'm doing a little bit too much, but I was so fascinated by that idea that these wrinkles go from her face directly into nature. And doing these prints with her face, I'm actually always using the same photo for it. I can feel that I'm healing every time I'm facing that photo. And especially now that I'm recording my comments, it's always a little step further to acceptance of that death. She was 15 years old, so she had a good long life. And I have to let her go. And this is also a way of, this is also a little homage to her with these beautiful flowers. And again, can you see the resist in the pattern of this flower? Even a little bit more. And I think some of the masking fluid also got into the paint and having an effect there. But I don't really know how that worked. And I'm making the ears a little darker on the outline of the face, and of course the eyes. And working out some more of these background flowers. But this is the last one I'll show you. And when I work out these little warts or whatever they are, I just thought of giving her a tear. I know dogs don't cry, but I did a lot. And this is just a little tear that was really mine. But I made it brown and not so obvious. So it's not that tacky, is it, to do that? I put some brown into these structures on the head, but then I left it black and white mostly. And this is it. And I think it turned out really, really lovely. And it makes me heal. And I hope this is not too sad for you. And I really appreciate all those nice comments you gave me after my dog died. Thank you for that. So hopefully I'll see you next week. Until then, bye.